Hello, greetings. Welcome once more. KTech for all system and analysis training with K to solve innovative tech. I'm Kisinjaka, your tutor, system analyst, software and senior development engineer. Today, we are going to be studying what we understand by requirement specification. In our subsequent video, we saw briefly what IT methodologies were all about. Requirement specification. Our plan, we had to review a previous lesson, but the previous lesson we'll review here may have not necessarily watched the video. So we'll go through it quickly. Then we'll have an introductory understanding, a requirement specification, and possibly a lab sheet. In our subsequent videos, we understood who was an actor. In the development of a system, it's important you stipulate actors. Actors are the peripherals of our system. It can either be a human user, a material device, or another system that interact directly with the system we are studying. Those are those we consider as actors. Why is it important to identify actors in the development of the system? We saw it in our previous teachings that the importance of actors identification in the development of the system enable you to know who an actor does what. Who does what? And now we are going to be understanding in our subsequent trainings when we'll be dealing with use case analysis. You will understand that in a use case analysis, you have a use case diagram. The system tells you what you are describing. The actor tells you who will be doing which particular task. And then the use cases tells you what will be done by who. So identifying an actor, understand, enable us to identify who will be doing what in our system. And analyzing our system is very important, which we're going to see in our subsequent videos, because it helps us to actually lower expenditure. Why should we use UML to study any system? Very good. The unified modeling language should be used to study a system. Why? Because the documentation in UML is better. Secondly, when there's any bug, remodeling is easy. It helps you to bring out to have a lower overall cost development of the system, an efficient system, more reliable system. It actually take time to study both the behavioral and the structural perspective of that particular time. Very good. If you read into the lessons very well or you went to last lesson, you understand carefully what I'm saying. Introductively, analysis. What actually is analysis? The concept of analysis means that you are breaking what is whole, what is big. We intend to understand the various parts of that big, the functions of each of the parts, and the interrelationships. Our systems, we have a respiratory system, a digestive system. Each of these systems has a nature. Each of these systems has a function, and they all interact with one another. So it is important when you have a very big system, you can use the divide and conquer algorithm. That is the analysis. The divide and conquer, you divide into modularity for you to better understand each part of the system and implement it maybe piecemeal. Now, for you to actually perform an important analysis, there are three steps you must do. Three very, very important steps. First of all, is understanding the existing situation. You don't solve what you don't know. You don't. Because if you will try to solve what you don't know, you might be trying to propose a solution which there's a better one that exists in the market already. In science, we try not to waste time in providing solutions that exist. Because if you need a solution that exists, you refer. Now, each system always exists first, and it's always known as the ASCII system. For example, if you're building a computerized hotel management system or a computerized hospital management system, there must be an existing situation, an existing solution that exists already. If it's manual, yes, that is an existing situation. From the manual system, are you computerizing or you are completely changing the operationality of the manual system? If it was already an automated system, what are the drawbacks of the automated system? When you understand your existing system, then you can identify improvements. It's only when you identify improvement that you can say what you're building actually is legit, and that is the defining now the requirement for the new system, the to-be system. So you must understand the situation that is existing. In understanding the situation that is existing, you will know whether you are referring it to continually use, or you identify the drawbacks and say, okay, these are some of the improvements that we need to do in the system to make it better and take us to the level at which we want to go. From there, we identify the requirements for the new system. Now, requirement specification. We spoke about requirements, and in our IT methodology, we spoke about the requirement as well. Quality assurance requirement, software requirement specification. What is actually a requirement? A requirement is a statement of what the system must do and the characteristics you need the system need to have. So it is based on this that you have a criteria to judge the system to say the system has a better quality than the solar system based on a requirement. So what does the system have? What are the characteristics the system needs? Based on this, the system, if you're doing a personnel management, the system must be able to give personnel, retain modification of personnel, print personnel, and all of that. If the system can't do that, that is when now you can judge that system. Okay. Now, okay, so these are the things. Now, requirements. There are various types of requirement. In the IT methodologies, we saw that when we are doing our feasibility, we have the economic, the operational, and the technical areas. Business requirement. After studying your environment, what do you need to develop the system? What do you need to market the product? What is needed to develop? What is needed to market the product? What is a trend in the market? All of that you stipulate that in the requirement, the business requirement, such that when it not necessarily maybe not meet up expectation, you can remodel your requirement. You say, no, my business requirement with this, I need to change, I need to rebrand, I need to look for another area. So all of these you need to stipulate that. They have the user requirement, what the users need to do. You have the software, the functional requirement, what the software should do. If the software is not able to do this, then the software is a bad software. Then now you can have a criteria to judge the qualityness of the software. What must the software do? Functional requirement. What characteristics does the system need to have? That is a non-functional requirement. And how should the system be built? You remember at the level of the design phase of our IT methodology, we spoke about understanding the various project modularity, time, cost, constraints, and all of that. And the best, and then from there now we'll make a decision on how the system is going to be built based on the designs that have been provided from the DDS, document design specification. And this is a system requirement. Now, the functional requirement we're going to zoom on to. The functional requirement defines the function of the system or its components, you can see. It provides what the system should do. That is a should do requirement. And functional requirement of our system are both that too. Either it's a process oriented or an information oriented. So it's stipulating your functional requirement. The process, the requirement might be other than the process. The system must be able to provide the possibility for someone to verify, process information. The system must be able to retain information after verified. So there's a process and then there's the information oriented part of it. Okay, and now in process, as I was just explaining, is concerned about what the system or user must or should be able to do. What the system, what tasks should the system provide to the user? What platform should the system provide for the user to perform particular tasks? How should the system be able to retain information whenever it is modified? So that is mostly the information oriented. What kind of information will the system personnel management system it must contain personnel skills. Okay. Based on this now, you have as well a non-functional requirement. The non-functional requirement. Non-functional requirement. In a functional requirement, we focus on specific behaviors, operations, and information. Non-functional requirement, on the other hand, is different from that. It focuses on what criteria you use to judge a system based on the operation of the system. How is the system operating? Based on how the system is operating, judge the system. So it's not focused on behaviors like functional, but here it's more about the criteria to judge the operation of the system. Reason why non-functional requirement has various elements. The very first is the operational. It is concerned with the physical and technical environment on which a system will operate. Is it a Windows-based operating system platform, a Linux-based operating system platform, or a Mac-based operating system platform? So you must specify that, okay, this system runs better. If say Windows, is it from Windows 10? Because you can't take an app that is basically meant for Windows 7 and you are running on the Windows 10 based on some of those specificities. So you specify which environment, technical and physical environment. What is the hardware capability? What should be, sorry, the hardware capability of the particular environment that should run the particular software, for example. So you must stipulate all of that such that when the user go out of what you have stipulated, then he can't judge your system because you have an operational requirement set in place. Then you have now as well the performance. It is concerned with speed and capacity and reliability of the system. Now, for example, the system that built to accommodate maybe 1,000 to 4,000 users. If it's 2,000 users maximum stipulated as a capacity of their software, and then the user populate with 3, 5, 8,000, and the software becomes slow in terms of speed delivery, then it's not more your fault because you have specified the speed, the capacity. Based on this capacity of users, you should be able to have this. Now, when a system maybe has a fault during the recovery stage, which how much what is the snap time? How much time does it take actually to recover after maybe an attack? So all of that are some of the criteria you should be able to set in place for someone to judge the operation of the system. Then you have now the security. Is your system having security? Who can do what? Based on that, under which conditions? You must have this characteristic that stipulate which has a level, who has a level of privilege over the other set. And lastly, you have cultural and political views. Of course, there are always political factors and legal requirements that affect a system. There's a software requirement, a software legal requirement. You should be able to do that. Don't bring a software that is contrary to the legal or legal requirement of a particular state. It might affect the operationality of your software because your software won't be encouraged to be used. Now, political factors is, IT is to solve problems. You can't use an IT problem to solve an IT solution to solve a political problem. So, in solving your problems, culture as well, in proposing your IT solutions, it's important you consider all of these factors in order not to have so much friction that may hamper the implementation of your software. Okay, at this stage, we'll have a practical lab sheet, but we'll have a lab sheet in our session. Thank you very much and have a blessed day.